Ball first and 10 at the 12-yard line of the Seahawks. Sean goes right, has a cutback lane, and he does. He's across the 20, the 25, 30, 35, 40. Here he goes. Are they going to catch him? 40, 35, 30. Touchdown, Seahawks! 12, they're bringing the trophy home. Your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champions. Holy catfish! Baldwin's going to throw back to Russell. He's got it! Touchdown! Seahawks! Are you kidding me?
Let's Hawk It Out with your hosts Kevin Porter and Rich Harris.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Hawk It Out. Number 2. We can call this the preseason. Rich Harris, what's up? How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing fabulous, doing awesome, and I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward to the season. We're getting much closer, so very excited.
Dude, we're less than 90 days? Almost 60 days? I don't know. I'm not really good with math in my head, dude, but all I know is that opening day is coming up very, very soon, Rich.
Yeah, first week of September. I don't know the exact dates off the top of my head. I don't have it right in front of me. But we'll just say, let's say we're July 7th, so 7/7, let's just say 9/7.
Close.
Somewhere around there, so two months for regular season. And then, of course, we got training camp coming up here. The guys are on a 6-week break from mini camp, and then we got training camp coming up. So that's going to be really exciting. I think that starts late July, like July 20. I know there was at least a 27th date that we were looking at, but we're actually going on August 5th.
The way this year's going, dude, I feel like I'm going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to be September 10th and the Seahawks are going to be kicking off, dude. Are we on the road this year? Are we opening up on the road? I forget the exact where we're kicking off from there, but yeah, dude, that day can't come soon enough.
We are opening up Monday Night Football Week 1 at home versus the Denver Broncos. I was going to say, I knew you knew that.
Forgot.
It just slipped your mind.
Yeah.
Later, once you bring that up, all you got to do is say Monday Night Football, and then if you've heard it before. But yeah, that'll be exciting. We want to be at that game.
Coming back to Seattle, Rich. What are you gonna do, dude? What are you gonna do? I don't know, man.
Well, first off, a Niners fan, a friend of mine, tells me, "Oh, you guys are gonna really get whooped on that one." I'm like, "How do you fucking know that? Like, how do you know that? Do you know anything about our team? Do you know what kind of defense we have? You know, we got one of the 2 top safeties in the whole league." And we got some really young up-and-coming linebackers, Cody Barton, Jordan Brooks, Ben Burke-Irvin. And we've got that defensive line and that new scheme that we're doing, which is now the 3-4. So we got 3 guys up front and 4 guys in the middle. And then you're going to have your safeties. And you're going to see a lot of new looks this year. So I'm excited. If you can have a good defense, which, as we know, Coach Carroll always is a defensive-minded coach, always has been, always will be. And we can run the ball and we can grind the clock and make their guys tired. That's the way it usually works in Pete Carroll's ultimate or ideal scheme.
Dude, I can't trust anybody that has a quarterback named Jimmy Garoppolo on their team, dude. San Francisco sucks, dude. Come on. I mean,
yeah,
we're really going to break it down, dude. They went to the NFC Championship game last year. Yeah, on a freaking fluke, Rich.
Well, they're trying to squeeze him out from what I understand and trying to do not really the Baker Mayfield thing in the exact scenario, but they're trying to either let him go or trying to trade him if they can get any trade, because they're going to start going with their rookie guy, that Trey Lance, I believe is his name.
Trey Lance. Okay. That's a name we should get used to for years to come here. Twice a year when we play the San Francisco 49ers, dude. I raise my fist in anger toward those people, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And I really hope we any interest in Garoppolo, because Mayfield's moved on. I would have had interest in him as long as the price is right. And by the way, speaking of Baker Mayfield, I don't know if you knew the numbers on that, but he went to Carolina in a trade. He was owed $18.8 million this year. That's the biggest problem that most teams had. Nobody wanted to take him on for almost $20 million. So they were basically, teams are going to say, hey, you eat some of that money and help us out here. Well, lo and behold, it looks like Cleveland's paying $10 million of that. His new team, Carolina, is only going to pay him $5-something million, and he's going to forego $3 million up front, but he has the ability to earn it in incentives. So with that said, that would have been a great deal for Seattle. We would have jumped on that, but it sounds like Carolina got to him first, because but the Browns are paying most of his contract. Baker ate some of the other contract, and he can earn it with improvements or performance. And he's only really getting paid $5 million, up to $8 million with Carolina. Not too bad.
So it's not surprising though that Pete Carroll is going to take like the slow approach when it comes to finding the next quarterback, you know, because I think we talked about on the last episode about the possibility of bringing Baker Mayfield in, but you know, ultimately, man, I mean, they just, it was kind of up to anybody. I mean, obviously we're not, you know, on the inside hearing, you know, exactly what's being said, but I mean, it feels like if Seattle wanted him, like we could have just gone out and got him.
Yeah, we could have exactly, but if the price was right, and also the scenario, you know, his age, how long they could see him fitting our, you know,
our scheme,
our scheme and philosophy. Yeah,
right.
Everything that we need, our needs, I guess, is the easiest term to use. But yeah, we don't know any of that, how they felt about all of that, about the logistics of it, who he was, how old he was, all of that, and if he could be the long term or the next 5 years. But with what you just said a minute ago, yeah, he's going to be patient, because remember, we've been talking about, maybe in the previous episode, the draft class, the quarterback draft class in the coming year, 2023, is going to be a lot more healthy and a lot more available, good caliber quarterbacks than they had this year. So they're going to maybe wait this 1 year, see what Gino or Drew can do to get us through. If we have a losing season, that may pan out to be better. I'm not rooting for that by all means. I never would, but there always is a little silver lining to that, because you'll get a higher pick. But they're going to be patient for this year. I think that's very clear.
I wouldn't be surprised if we came out and just like overperformed, you know, because like we've talked about in the past, it's not necessarily a rebuild that we're seeing. We're just kind of seeing the reshuffling of the pieces in regards to, you know, what the future is going to look like, I guess. You know, I've been, you know, open on the podcast and being just pretty optimistic in regards to, you know, Schneider and Carroll, and seeing exactly, you know, was getting rid of Russell Wilson the right decision, you know, which again, albeit it sounded like it was Russell Wilson's choice to leave Seattle. It wasn't necessarily Pete Carroll and John Schneider getting rid of him, but, you know, just in the past, in terms of just the relationship between those three, I mean, you heard it through the grapevine. It sounds like, you know, Russell got a little heated in regards to, you know, Schneider sticking his nose out there for, you know, any other possible up and coming quarterbacks, which again, you know, it'd be stupid for the Seahawks not to, you know, be out, keeping their eyes open for the next guy up, you know, but at the same time, you know, you can't blame Russell Wilson for getting some hurt feelings there.
Right. And he should know better. He's been with the system. He knows that their mindset and their philosophy is that they're always going to be in the conversation. You'll hear Pete Carroll and both John Schneider say that in their press conferences, is that, of course, why wouldn't we be a part of the conversation, or why wouldn't we be listening? So they don't never block themselves out for anything like that. Like, you know, DK Metcalf, for example, everybody's seeking this and that. Well, they're going to take phone calls. They may say that they're not taking calls, some teams, but my understanding is they'll take the call, because you never know what that call may bring.
Exactly.
So it's like, why not take the call? And then you're also establishing a relationship with these other general managers across the league. And that's how these general managers make good deals sometimes, is they know another general manager. Either they worked with them before in a previous system, or they've talked on the phone a lot and made deals in the past. John Schneider has been our GM now for what? It's going to be since 2010, I believe. So 12 years now, and they both got contracts again for the next 3 to 5, I think, something like that. Not necessarily exactly parallel. And so, yeah, the team hasn't changed. The team hasn't changed because it's the same team, same general manager, same coach, same philosophy in that respect. The only thing that is changing, which is good, is I think Coach Carroll is opening his mind a little bit to changing and adapting to his coordinators and what they want to run, and not necessarily know my way or the highway like he's known to be, or what he said. Because he's very firm, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's his team, his philosophy, and it's old school. It's old school football, old school smash mouth football. And a lot of people say that's not going to work anymore, and so maybe he's opening up a little bit to some of these other coaches, because they might be the future of our team as well. And I think maybe he's starting to realize that. That's what I'm seeing, at least.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that there definitely could be like a hybrid, because you know, old school football. I mean, again, the game's called football. It changes, but at the same time, essentially, it's like it's the same game, and it's been the same game for years. So the idea of you definitely wanting to adapt to the future, but also staying true to the past. I think that there's a healthy balance that has to, be there for us in order for us to succeed. So that's why, like, I don't know. It seems like whenever you're ready to count Pete Carroll and John Schneider out, dude, they do something to keep their heads in the game, right? They've seen it. We've seen it throughout. Like, we may have a down season, but usually the next year we somewhat rebound. It's never like 2 losing seasons in a row. And albeit this last season was like probably one of the worst seasons they've had since they first got here back, in 2009, 2010, 2011, I should say also. I mean, even then they overachieved. Like what we barely won the NFC West and went on to, go ahead and, beat the Saints in the wild card, dude. The year's previous Super Bowl winner, it's like Drew Brees gets knocked off his pedestal because Marshawn Lynch started an earthquake, so I'm always optimistic.
Yeah, we got to trust in John and Pete, and I use that all the time because this is what they do. This is their business day in and day out, and they probably lose sleep more than you and I would know, and their passion is to have this team win as many games as they can and many Super Bowls as they can. So I would like to see us win a couple more under this same group, and just to show that we could win Super Bowls without Russell Wilson, because it is the same team and it's the same people selecting people and finding diamonds in the rough, which they've always been good at. So speaking of decisions, I mean, they decided to move on from Dwayne Brown, right? Because of our new tackles and new velocity and everything else, and he's getting older. Well, did you hear the recent news about Dwayne?
Oh, I saw it about 10 p.m. last night on TMZ. I routinely scroll TMZ for my entertainment shares. And I saw right there on the front page, Dwayne Brown arrested on gun charges rolling through LAX. Rich, what's your immediate reaction to hearing this news?
Man, I don't know how stupid you can be. It's an airport. It's an airport.
Yeah, right,
we
exactly.
all, we're scared to bring a certain amount of liquid on the plane. You got to be very, very, very particular about what you fly with. We all know that. Before I fly, I go to TSA and I read that list over and over because I don't want to get stuck and stopped by those. Those guys are bold, man. Those TSA agents and stuff. They're like, their faces don't budge. They don't smile, right? And you're gonna bring a gun,
right?
Like, how did you forget you had the gun? I mean, or do you think maybe they would let you through because you're a superstar? I don't know. I just don't understand it.
Right?
I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
I'm an NFL player. Aren't I afforded certain privileges here within the United States, and not being able to walk with my, into a LA airport with my 9mm pistol? Like, isn't that something I'm afforded as an American citizen? I don't know. Or as an NFL player? Right. I don't know. Guess not.
I mean, every airport, they got no firearms everywhere. The last thing they want in an airport is a firearm, besides the police officers. And everybody knows. We all know that. Everybody knows that. If you're going to do a gun, you have to check it the right way. It has to be locked and put away, and you can get it the same method when you fly it to the other end. But anyway, no, dude.
It's not unreasonable to begin with. I mean, like, at least they allow you to do it. Like, you can travel with guns. You just got to do it the right way.
That guy, he's a little different anyway, in my opinion, because he was the one, and the team never officially announced it. But if you remember right, during the extreme COVID, I think in 2020, everybody was vaccinated on the team, 99% of the team. But the one person that wasn't was Dwayne Brown. So he couldn't fly with them and stuff. He had to take a separate plane.
He's the only one that wasn't vaccinated, really?
He was the only one that wouldn't get vaccinated, correct. Wow. The rest of the team was in it. And I think that goes a long way with the coach and the GM as well. It's just like, you want to be paid all this money, and he was very good at his position, don't get me wrong, but he's starting to get a little older. He wasn't deteriorating, really. You didn't hear of him going, oh, Dwayne Brown, let that guy go. You didn't hear any of that. But was he worth what he was asking for? That, and probably not. That's why the team had to move on. I don't think anybody else has picked him up. So
I was gonna say, like, I mean, in all due respect to him, like, and his, because obviously his playing ability is way above my playing ability. when it comes to being able to, do what he does in the NFL. But at the same time, like, wasn't Russell Wilson like sacked like record amount of times like throughout the last 10 seasons or whatever? Like, our offensive line has always been in question. And I know when they brought him up from when we not drafted him, but traded for him, from Houston, it was a big deal because he is a good player. But, in terms, I don't know, dude, like, I mean, was he the core guy on that offensive line? I guess he was the captain, right? So I don't know.
I think so because of his veteran status and his age and his experience. There was nobody else on that line that had that. So he was the leader, and he's very vocal.
Right.
So yeah. So he's definitely the leader in that room, in the offensive line room. So yeah, he's gone now, but there's going to be a lot of younger guys that are going to have a chance to gel together and get that chemistry. And that's always got to start somewhere. But that's some of the times that those lines that you build for years to come is because they could get that cohesion going, and they started together in the trenches around the same time. So they all kind of had the same thing in common. Maybe they didn't want to be next to Dwayne Brown, and maybe he was arrogant or something. Who knows? Saying that he could have been all kinds of things. We don't know. But the young group will all have open minds because their all goal is to make it and be the starter. And when you start getting that competition going again, and you don't just have a said guy that, that's Dwayne Brown's spot, because they don't really do that in the Seahawks, but certain positions, of course, Dwayne Brown is the left tackle, right?
Like, who's going to beat me? Who's going to beat
the quarterback? Yeah. I mean, they still say it's an open competition, but sooner or later, there's certain guys like Russell and Dwayne Brown, and certain guys that Bobby Wagner that are the clear-cut starter. That there's nobody competing.
Yeah, every year you got your backup. You're competing for a backup position at that point.
Pretty much, and then the secondary's been like around. I mean, there's got backups coming in and other guys going down, so that's always been like a merry-go-round. It seems like the cornerbacks and the safeties, not as elite as of late. Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams. It'll be nice to see those guys starting to get that cohesion together in the back, keeping us safe back there. And it's my understanding that we're going to see more true safety lineups going on, where they're going to be lining up more in a protection zone where they each have half the field or whatever, for the most part, right? To protect from those long passes and stuff like that, and not necessarily have Jamal Adams stunting as much as he used to, where he's blitzing.
I think that's really smart. If that's how they're going to break down the safety, position, moving forward. Because those long passes, like, they got him every single time. Every single time they tried, dude, just boom, just throw. It's like it was Madden, dude. It's like they were playing video games. Just pop it down the field, dude. Like, Seahawks aren't going to defend that. Hopefully this year, dude. Knock on wood. We got some healthy guys coming into camp, dude. Got some guys that are coming off some surgeries. We're looking good, Rich. We're looking good. And just to throw this out there in the live recording setting, we got 3 minutes left in the show because apparently we don't have an upgraded account with Zoom, and this is the first time they're asking for money from me for a while. So, but we'll get that fixed up at some point. But we got one final story on the docket. Is Jody Allen selling the Seattle Seahawks and the Portland Trailblazers? Rich, what do you think? What do you think's going on in Judy's head?
Well, from what I read from Jody is, and I've been hearing stuff leading up to it, but yeah, we got a short period of time here. So, yes, Paul, his will, his deeds and everything, his wishes were to have them sold off so that they can fund his other philanthropy projects. So anyway, he wants to have them liquidated at some point to go into the rest of his projects and stuff, and so that those people can be funded. Well, here's the thing. Seattle, the city of Seattle made a deal with back then Quest Field and the Seattle Seahawks and Paul Allen to go in on a partnership and share costs. And we're talking millions of dollars. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I remember it was just maybe 500 million or something. I don't know, that we had to slowly pay back to the city and over a period of time. I believe that period of time ends 2026 or 2028. So at the soonest, the Seahawks can't financially be sold in a financial sense. And Paul would have agreed with that, Jody said, until that has expired, and then they're home free, so to speak, and not have any liens from the city.
Damn, dude. So you nailed it right there, dude. We got the Seahawks Blazers being sold in the next 4 to 5 years or so, I would imagine.
Yeah, and I don't know if the Blazers is exactly the same story or not, but I would say it's similar. It's all
is.
about buttoning up stuff and paying bills before the teams are, I always called it scot-free, right? They don't have anything, no overhead, and then you can relinquish it and sell it to somebody else. But I was looking at the numbers the other day, and he bought it for like something in the millions, and now they're saying it's going to be worth multi-billion.
Multi-million. Rich
Yeah,
Harris.
because Denver just sold. Yeah.
Damn, dude. That is going to be a day, dude, when that happens. But Rich Harris, thank you so much, dude. All the listeners out there, let's hawk it out. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
All right.